Good afternoon and welcome to RC Truth Media. Today I have another truth to discuss with you guys. There's a lot of global events going on with the weather. It seems like every day something else is happening. Last winter and summer was crazy. We had the bombogenesis. We've had all types of weather events, the anomalies that have been going on. And let's just talk about some of those events right now. On thebigwobble.org, we can see some of these events here within the past month. We have temperatures above 118 degrees Fahrenheit in India. Then you have in Africa unusual hailstorms going on at the same time. And also in India, you have negative 40 degrees Celsius. Kills another 54 people. The same time, you have the second 1,000-year flood in 2 years, 3 years of rainfall in 1 day, 1 month's rainfall in 1 hour, 60,000 lightning strikes in 4 hours. It's weather madness. And then you have parts of North America that had its coldest April in 20 years. April 2018 was the third warmest on record for the globe. So you're having parts of the world that's really warm, parts of the world that's really cold. You have weird weather events, lightning storms going on. Look at this one. Let's click on this real quick. As the world warms up, deadly lightning storms are increasing by 12%. 12%. It says Bangladesh has seen a near record number of deaths in the last 2 years from a phenomenon that appears to be worsening with climate change. Lightning strikes. So far this year, hundreds of deaths have been reported in India and Pakistan from lightning strikes. And then if you go down, it doesn't just talk about Pakistan, it talks about the UK suffered for around 60,000 lightning strikes. Okay, and then also we have Germany and France, Scandinavia, all suffering from lightning strikes. What's going on? Europe, lightning strikes. What's going on with the world right now? What's up with all these weird weather events? Well, let's see. If you ask NASA, they're gonna tell you they really don't know. They disagree on a lot of things. A lot of scientists in NASA, some of them will say the Earth is cooling. Some of them say no, it's warming. They say, how can we be cooling when the sun's getting bigger and bigger? It just doesn't make sense, right? Well, wrong. I believe that there has been times of cooling and times of warming, and it's not going to get gradually warmer and warmer. It's a flux. It goes in waves. It's not always one way. It's constantly changing. That's the thing about the Earth and everything on it and everything that lives is everything's constantly changing. Now let's talk about global warming versus global cooling for a minute, because I think this has a lot to do with the weather events that are going on. Now, this is from livescience.com. They say, the sun may be dimming temporarily, but don't panic. Earth is not going to freeze over. They're talking about these large black spots on the sun known as sunspots. They appeared in February 2013. This is talked about also by NASA. Okay, it says, but will resulting cooling put a dent in the global warming trend? A periodic solar event called a grand minimum could overtake the sun perhaps as soon as 2020 and lasting through 2070, resulting in diminished magnetism, infrequent sunspots production, and less ultraviolet UV radiation reaching Earth, all bringing a cooler period to the planet that may span 50 years. The last grand minimum event, a disruption of the sun's 11-year cycle of variable sunspot activity, happened in the mid-7th century, known as the Maunder minimum. It occurred between 1645 and 1715, during a longer span of time when parts of the world became so cold that the period was called the Little Ice Age, which lasted from about 1300 to 1850. That's a long time. You see right here it says some storms, incredible photos of solar flares, sunspots which appear as dark patches on the solar surface from where the sun's magnetic field is unusually strong, and the number of sunspots waxes and wanes in a cycle that lasts about 11 years. fueled by fluctuations in the sun's magnetic field. This cycle that I'm talking about, this is what happens. We go through cycles, a cycle of cooling and a cycle of warming. But during the late 17th century, the sunspots all but disappeared. This episode corresponded with a period of exceptional cold in parts of the world, which scientists have explained as being connected to the changes in solar activity. Sunspot activity was high in 2014 and has been dipping ever since. As the sun moves toward the low end of its 11-year cycle, known as the solar minimum, NASA reported in June 2017, but a pattern of ever decreasing sunspots over recent solar cycles resembles patterns from the past. This similarity hints that another such event may be fast approaching, and the scientists have estimated how intense such an event might be by analyzing close to 20 years of data recording radiation output from stars that flow cycles similar to that of our sun. Solar radiation output typically drops during a normal solar minimum, though not enough to disrupt climate patterns on Earth. However, UV radiation output during a grand minimum can mean activity plummets by an additional 7%, the researchers wrote in the study. As a result, air temperatures on Earth's surface would cool by as much as several tenths of a degree Fahrenheit. Change of a half degree Fahrenheit is that equivalent to about 3/10 of a degree Celsius on average. Okay, so we got it here. There's gonna be pretty much some cooling going on. I can feel it. So what else do I want to talk about today? And why are there a lot of weird weather events going on? It's not just to do with the sun. Yeah, we do have a grand solar minimum coming, I do believe, but there is also another thing that's contributing to the weird weather events, and that is geoengineering, which is the deliberate large-scale manipulation of environmental processes that affects the Earth's climate. It's an attempt to counteract the effects of climate change. Injecting sulfate aerosol 9 nanoparticulates into the stratosphere. Solar radiation management has been suggested as one approach to geoengineering. That's just one of their many approaches. Although much is being done to unravel the scientific and technical challenges around geoengineering, there have been few efforts to characterize the potential human health impacts of geoengineering, particularly with regards solar radiation management approaches involving stratospheric aerosols. Right here, this is what I want you guys to check out. Black carbon, metallic aluminum, and aluminum oxide aerosols. Okay, we speculate on possible health impacts of exposure to one promising solar radiation management material, barium titanate. Using knowledge of similar nanomaterials, we also explore current regulatory efforts to minimize exposure of these toxicants. Our analysis suggests that adverse public health impacts may reasonably be expected from solar radiation management via deployment of stratospheric aerosols. Little is known about the toxicity of some likely candidate aerosols, and there is no consensus regarding acceptable levels for public exposure. So, as we see here, there is little infrastructure in place to evaluate potential public health impacts in the event that these aerosols are deployed. We offer several recommendations to help characterize the potential public health impacts and suggest that a comprehensive risk assessment effort is needed before this approach receives further consideration. Well, it's already being done all over the world. It's being sprayed. I have another video you can check out about geoengineering and the chemtrails. We know for sure this is being done. So now these chemtrails, like you just saw, has aluminum in it. And what happens when you get metal all over the sky? If you get metal all over the sky and you have lightning storms, then you're going to have more lightning. It's going to increase for sure. Now, I like to connect the dots, and so if geoengineering and spraying metals is increasing all over the earth, and it says that lightning storms are also, deadly lightning storms are increasing all over the earth, now definitely we can connect the two dots, that geoengineering, spraying aluminum, is contributing to the deadly lightning storms that are all around the earth. Look, this isn't cool, okay? People are dying. They're poisoning us. We have stuff that's going on with our governments globally that need to be taken care of. We can't let these elites continue to do what they're doing. Get the word out, spread the news. We are in a time, I believe, of global cooling. Okay, any way you look at it, everything is a flux. It's not just one way. We are in a time of change. Always, constantly a time of change. If you like the videos, you could like and subscribe. You can donate to me at paypal.me/RickyCadenhead. Thank you for coming to my channel. I will have a lot more videos coming soon. Have a great day.